I was on my way about 20 k's out of Emeralds. I just moved to Cairns, and sorry, Lisa phoned me and said, would you like to give a talk at the seed saving? We have a mutual friend. Her name is Beth. I think she lives up in Atherton. And
Koa. She lives in Koa.
And in 2007 I knew Beth from when I created a community garden on the Sunshine Coast. It's called Vegie Village. And so that was kind of the catalyst to my career in permaculture, sustainability, education and the things like that. So previous to that, I'm a bit of a multi-potentialite. I've been a graphic designer, commercial photographer, scuba diving instructor in Bali over the last couple of years. And so going back to 2007, I wanted to learn how to grow veggies. I had no idea at all about how to do it, so I figured, well, we'll create a community garden and wait for the teachers to turn up. And pretty much they did. So that was the start of my sort of enterprise within that permaculture realm and sustainability. So from there, I created a company called Edible Landscapes Australia, where we'd offer to help set up community gardens. I've helped set up 5 community gardens so far, 4 in Australia and 1 in Malaysia. And so I used to do permaculture consultancy, design permaculture gardens for mostly just urban allotments, and we had an edible school yards program as well. And one of these community gardens that I helped set up for a non-for-profit, they had a lot of people on their that helped with mental health, with physical disability, intellectual disability, plus apprentices, trainees, school-based apprentices and so forth. So I was lucky enough to leave my company Edible Landscapes and actually work for them full-time. And so I worked full-time in the garden, and within a week, like an average week, we run programs. I have a mental health program. I have a program for people with intellectual, physical disabilities. So there are about 120 school kids a week come through the garden. We play silly things like we'd have like tiles like this, and they'd gather around, and we built a chicken daycare centre.
What did that look like?
It was just a little thing. I used to bring my chickens in from home, so it was obviously a daycare centre. And they'd gather around, and we'd play chicken bingo. So they'd write a number on the squares, and whichever square the chicken pooped in first, so they got the egg to take home. So that was education for kids. But we did a lot of other curriculum work as well. And we had school-based trainees and the likes. But the mental health program that I was asked to set up there coincided, unfortunately, with my brother's suicide. And I kind of thought, because he loved nature and he loved being outdoors, and I thought, okay, what could I have done to help him with his black dog? So I called that program the Green Dog Program. And so that ran for about 3 or 4 years, and we probably helped about 80 or 90 people come through that program. And what we would do was, it would be 6 weeks, and we'd say probably get about 8 to 10 people that suffered from anything from schizophrenia to depression to PTSD. Some were medicated, some weren't. And they'd come to the garden, and we'd build shit, basically. So we come up with stuff to build, and it would be up to them to decide. So we built bicycle-powered compost tumblers, worm farms. I had a lot of bamboo structures in the garden and things like that, like shade houses and things like that. So this program went on for a number of years, but what happened then was the NDIS came in. I'm not sure if anyone knows what the NDIS is, National Disability Insurance Scheme. And what happened then was a lot of organisations were falling over because the government was taking that money and putting it into the NDIS. So there's a lot of amalgamation happening. And unfortunately, the community garden and my role there finished, which was a shame, because a lot of the funding that was supporting these people with mental health was taken away from them. So I had a bit of a break. I travelled around Australia for a year. I threw myself into a challenge of flipping a coin to make decisions for an entire year, and then I went to Bali, became a scuba instructor, and wrote a book about me flipping a coin.
Did you bring your book?
Not with me here, but I've got some at home. Yeah, it's called Flip Your Journey to Freedom. So any decision I'd make, I'd flip a coin.
Can they find you online for that?
Yeah, flipyourjourney.com.
Flipyourjourney.com.
Yeah.
Have you read the book, The Dice Man?
Yes, I have. Yeah. It's sort of similar. It's not a process. Just briefly, it's not a heads I do this, tails I do that. I call it horrifyingly liberating. If you've got two options and you don't know which one to choose, it's a yes and no. So you're going to flip this one. If it's a no, that's gone. And if that doesn't automatically give this one a go. You flip for that one. If it says no, it's gone as well. So it leaves you in this space of openness. And it's amazing when you've actually got no options in front of you, how options actually appear. Right? It's horrifyingly liberating because you've got to be willing to give up all those options. But it's liberating because there's a sense of freedom and things actually happen. And the book shows you that, like some of the amazing things that happen throughout that journey. So.
Do you still flip?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Did you flip to come up here?
I flipped to come up here. Yeah. So people think I'm a little crazy, but yeah, it's even little things like what do I have for dinner? You know, what restaurant you go to, stuff like that. What you eat. You know, whether you go for a walk or whatever. Yeah, it's actually quite fun.
Did you flip when you're sitting there and wondered about coming here today?
No. You had me on the phone at 20 k's out of Emerald, so I was like, yeah, okay, I'm just driving, okay, I'll come.
Just one quick question, Bruce. When you've got a clear slate, do you get some of your best ideas when you sleep?
Totally.
When you sleep?
When I'm sleeping? No, I just sleep really well when I'm
Right,
clear slate.
Yeah. I'm one of those ones that has to have a piece of paper next to the bed.
Oh, yeah, I do that
because
as well.
I don't know. I just have these miracle thoughts during the night and I'm not even conscious of it. And I think, I've got to write that down because...
I do the same. 3 a.m. boardroom of 1.
Right. But if you don't capture it then, you're not going to have it.
Amazing.
Thank you.
So, I travelled around Australia, still wasn't on finished on my journey, flipped a coin, 5 flips said no, 1 flip said yes to Bali. So that's how that works. Went to Bali, became a scuba diving instructor after about 6 months until COVID hit. So then I came back here and I really wanted to pick up where I left off from that community garden, from the mental health. So I created blackdoggreen. And so we sort of tame your mind with nature. So it's based on a philosophy. Do you mind if I just read you a little story? I haven't memorised it yet, but it's based on this kind of philosophy. Alright, and some of you might have heard this story before, you might actually know the answer. Alright, so it's called The Tale of Two Dogs. So an elder was teaching his grandson about life. He said, a fight is going on inside me, he told the young boy, and a fight between 2 dogs. He says, the black dog brings darkness into your life. It's anger, envy, sorrow, regret, ego, self-pity, guilt, inferiority, lies, false pride, all those things that take away life from your life. But the green dog is the true nature of ourselves. It's joy, happiness, peace, love, sincerity, humility, kindness, empathy. So the same fight is going on inside you, grandson, and inside every person on the face of the earth. The grandson pondered this for a while, and he said, grandfather, which dog will win? Now, has any of you heard this one before? Okay, does anyone know what the general answer is? Yeah?
Which one you feed?
Which one you feed. Right? So the elder smile says, the one you feed. Right? But the thing about that, it's easier to feed the black dog. Right? So the black dog is there, it encourages the easiest options in life. Okay, it's easy to procrastinate, it's easy to complain, it's easy to dismiss and ignore and give up. Right? The green dog, feeding the green dog is really difficult. Right? It's actually harder to feed. It's challenging, tiring, time consuming. You need to learn, teach, inspire, share the simple and stick to new behaviours. Right? So these things take energy, effort, vulnerability, momentum and bravery, and sometimes there's no instant results from them. Right? But there's actually another version to this story. So when the grandson said, which one will win? The elder replied, if you feed them right, they both win. Okay, so you see, if I only choose to feed the green dog, right, which a lot of people tend to tell people to do, be happy, positive psychology, blah blah blah. What will happen is when you're weak, when you're vulnerable, when the black dog is always there, and it'll come up and bite you on the ass, right? So it's always going to be there fighting that green dog, right? But if you acknowledge the black dog, he's happy and the green dog's happy, and they all win, right? So for the black dog, it has many qualities, right? It has tenacity, courage, fearlessness, strong-willed, strategic thinking, and right, things at times you need, okay? And then the green dog lacks those, but it has compassion, caring, strength, ability to recognise the best interest in everybody. So you see, grandson, green dog needs the black dog by its side. To feed only one and starve the other, they'll become uncontrollable. To feed and care for both of them, and they will both serve you. So he basically says, peace, my son, is the mission for life. A man or a woman who has peace inside has everything. A man or a woman who is pulled apart by the inner wars has nothing. So that's basically the philosophy that I've built Black Dog Green on. And sorry, some notes. Right, and I've come up with this four-legged whale tagging approach. Right, so the four legs of my dog, right, are externalization. So externalizing your problems and using metaphors. Right. The second one is actually using dogs to help us learn about ourselves, like dog behavior. The third is serious humor. Right. I don't take things too seriously, but you can actually hide a lot of really important messages in humor and in fun stuff. Right.
So what was the first and second?
First and second. The first one was externalizing your problems, like using metaphors. The second one was you can use dogs and dog behaviors to help us understand ourselves. Like dogs have been around humans for like 50,000 years, right? Everybody can relate to their dogs. The third one was serious humor. The fourth one is the pack, right? Community, okay? So this is your pack here. So what we try and do there is to create a pack. And the thing that really wags our tail is being out in nature and doing things in nature. All right. So with Black Dog Green, my clients I'm currently working with, and you guys might know somebody, because I work a lot with NDIS, psychosocial mentoring with a twist of nature, I call it. And so I've got some flyers here around that. But so utilising nature, utilising the Black Dog Green philosophy to help people with their mental health issues. I'm actually, and I'm not sure, there might be someone in this network that knows somebody who knows somebody. I've got another program I've developed that I haven't got off the ground. It's called FIFO FIDO. It's a mental health program for FIFO workers. All right, and it's quite sort of complex program, so you're welcome to have a look at that as well. But with I'll just give you an example with the NDIS, right? A young girl, she had behavioural issues, ADHD, ASD, and all the letters that they can throw at these poor kids. She didn't want to, really socially isolated, didn't want to leave home. So when I came in, we just started doing little science experiments in a lounge room. Then we moved to doing science experiments in the garden and started growing some vegetables together and giving her that confidence about being outside. And then we go for small walks in the park and stuff like that. And just before I left, we spent the day doing high ropes and what do they call, zip lining and stuff like that. So she'd gone from being inside, not wanting to even speak to anyone in the world, just playing on a computer, to up doing zip ropes and high ropes. So just by being out in nature and stuff like that. So that's just one example.
Beautiful.
So like I said, I've moved here literally 2 weeks ago in Manunda, and looking for some networking, some network, and my pack, catching up with my pack, sorry.
Any jobs going?
Well, possibly, yeah. I'm actually looking for a pack to help me build Black Dog Green, because at the moment it's me, right? So if anybody who might be interested in that, we can always have a chat about that as well. But what I thought I'd do is, Yeah, we use a language called, it's dog lingo, or abbreviated to dingo.
Yeah.
Right, so that's our language, right? So it's like, you know, oh, how you feeling today? I'm feeling a bit rough, you know, I'm chasing my tail. So you're using these metaphors. So I thought, if you guys are interested in doing a little exercise,
Yes, please.
you sure? No, you can sit down, but we might all gather around the table and we'll do a little bit of an exercise. It's a bit of a fun thing. Does anyone got any questions at the moment? I wasn't sure, like I literally put this together yesterday.
I'm sort of around NDIS a lot.
Yeah.
Psychosocial has been the thing the NDIS has absolutely bloody missed.
Yeah, it has.
And you know, we're just hoping that we'll shorten and get just reviews going. I've got MS, and anybody else that's got a neurological condition like me, they're not helping us at all. Of course, she also turned 65, and there's a line in the sand, you know.
Is,
we don't even, which is just a joke. But I was really interested in the fact that you said the psychosocial, and you're working with NDIS clients.
Yeah,
that's really
I don't do any other support other than psychosocial support.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's where the niche market is, because it's a bloody great.
Yeah, there is a hole
black
there,
hole.
isn't there? Yeah. All right, come on around. Let's just do a little bit of have a bit of fun with these little guys. I was going to spread them out. Is it windy still? So the idea of this is if you can. What I want you to do is start with your black dogs first, right? So have a look at these pictures. Hopefully they don't blow away, and see if you can recognise in yourself your black dog, right? For me, the black dog up there is the one chasing its tail all the time, because that's what I feel like most of the time, right? I'm chasing my tail. So just one picture of a black dog, and then come down here and find the picture that represents the dog that is you in your true nature, right? What you love, who you are. So pick one black dog card. I looked at that one. One black dog card and one green dog card. Start with the black dogs first, guys. Always, yeah, because your green dog, you're turning your black dog green. Pick your black dog and then your green dog.
So these are the
Black dogs.
These are the
Just one
black
from
dogs.
each pile.
Black dogs are up this end. Black dogs first.
No, they're all up
are
here.
this
Black dogs are up
end.
that end, and the green dogs are down this end. Someone's taking it. Someone's taking it.
Can't have your
Here he is. Here he is.
No, here he is.
Here he is.
Found him. Found him.
There's another
Found
tail
him.
over there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love a good scratch behind the ear. Okay. All right, so for me, right, next what we're going to do is I want just to walk up to somebody and say hi. How is that? Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah. I'm Bruce. You're Lorna. Nice to meet you, Lorna. And so basically, let's just share about your dogs. So this is my black dog, right? I feel like I chase my tail most of my life, right? But this is my green dog. When I'm out in nature, and like I'm just like I tend to do this when I'm lying under a tree or whatever, like give myself a good dog scratch out behind the ear, and I feel wonderful. Something like that. Yeah. And yours? You've got two green dogs.
I do.
You've got to choose one.
Well, someone
boy.
wants my black dog. Show us.
So this is your black dog.
So this one. Show us. I'm looking upwards. At something better.
Okay.
Light, something towards light.
Yeah, that's fine. That's all you need to do.
And then, am I that one or am I that one? I think I'm more in the serene nature.
Right. Yeah. So when you're doing this, try and describe it in dog terms. Right? So we're separate. So what we're doing is leg number one. We're externalizing our own emotions. This isn't us. This is our black dogs. Right? So your black dog tends to sit on this side. Your green dog tends to sit on this side. Right? So you'll learn to tame your black dog a little bit better. But at the moment, it's just like, yep, I'm a black dog. I'm chasing my tail all the time. When I'm out in nature, I love a good scratch behind the ear. Right?
Yeah.
Something like that. So,
Yeah.
so what we'll do is we'll just mingle around right? And just once you've done that, just mingle to the next person and then mingle to the next person. Let's not go deep. Let's just make it a bit of fun. Talk gobbling, yes.
And
So,
then that, you said in cat is by recognizing you're feeding it, but you don't want to feed the black dog.
by
We wanna feed
recognising
both
that
of
you
them.
are feeding it, you are that's how you're actually recognising your black dog.
That's
Right.
enough. That is stop.
To
stop
start
there.
with, yeah, it goes a lot deeper. But yeah, so the simple little task is to play catch with yourself, right? Your green dog's easy to catch, okay, because you feel your green dog. Your black dog's a sneaky little bugger, and he'll sneak up behind you, and he'll yip in your ear, or he'll yip at someone else, or he'll do certain things, right? So throughout the day, don't get too involved in it. Like, okay, it's like, man, at traffic light, god damn it, oh, bloody black dog. Okay, done. Move on. The next thing. Right? See how many times a day you can catch your black dog.
Yeah, cool.
So what about when you go through an orange light like I did when I'm going?
Oh,
You might have absence
It's
epilepsy,
an amber
you
dog.
don't know where it is.
brown dog.
But you can understand what I mean about you know those things that you're not quite
Just take
happy
step
with,
in
you
the brown
like,
dog.
Just catch it, recognise it, and see how you go.
No, that's dog
Move
brown.
on.
Yeah, ideally, but they take a while to tame. So I hope that was a very brief, quick explanation about who I am. I'm new to town, so any connections within this, I tried to get this off the ground on the Sunshine Coast, but it didn't quite work because of the way the Sunshine Coast is at the moment. It's changed in the last 20 years, right? But I have a feeling Kansas is a very different place. The people here are way more friendly. Way more friendly.
I don't know, 20 years ago, Sunshine Coast wasn't any good anyway.
Yeah. Sorry, it wasn't that good anyway.
It wasn't any good 20 years ago either.
Oh, sorry, Sunshine Coast, we love you.
So I've got some business cards here anyway.
Keep
and some
trying.
Flyers, some NDIS flyers, if anyone wants to take any. But yeah, I'm just trying to build up my network, and yeah, it'd be great. I'm going to come down here and up the road anyway, so I'll see you guys.
Cool. Yay, thanks, Bruce. Awesome. Hey, let's do one last howl. Let's do one last howl together. Ready?